it, Sean.
I'm not playing your stupid game!
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling wax paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Stay locked in on Armchair Quarterbacks Radio. Always just moments away from the big play.
There's Cunningham. Dodges left and puts it way downfield for Fred Barnett, who has the catch. And the race is on. There are no flags. A 95-yard touchdown.
The ball just over the goal line of the Cowboys. Dorsett, single setback. Big opening for Tony Dorsett. Look out, he's got great speed. 99 yards and a half. Dorsett down the sideline. Stays in bounds. Can you believe that? 99.5-yard run, I think, is the longest run in the history of the league.
Here's Cunningham back to throw it and going deep, and he's got Moss, and there's a flag on the play, and Moss has caught the pass, and it's in the end zone anyway. Touchdown. Just throw it as far as you can.
Randy Moss is amazing. Randall Cunningham is amazing.
This year, choose a yogurt that's right for you. With 2 grams of sugar per 5.3-ounce serving. Too Good Greek yogurt is too good to be true. So Delicious dairy-free yogurt and Silk yogurt alternatives are delicious plant-based swaps you can enjoy by the spoon or add to recipes. Oikos 000 yogurt and Light and Fit yogurt are tasty, non-fat yogurt options. So many flavors, varieties, and possibilities. Elevate any recipe and your everyday with yogurt. Shop at Target.
Beat Yourself Up hotline.
Is this the Beat Yourself Up hotline?
Yes, sir. If you'd like to beat yourself up, this is the place to do it.
Okay, I'd like to beat myself up now, please.
Go right ahead when you're comfortable.
I am so stupid. I can't believe how stupid I am. What an idiot.
Are you beating yourself up for not getting the best sports talk show out there? Quit beating yourself up. Instead, listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks beat up the competition. Armchair Quarterback Radio, your first choice for sports talk here on the First Coast.
I have to do this to myself every year. When, oh, when will I learn?
You beat yourself up very well, sir.
Thanks. Why didn't I think of that?
Well,
why do I have to have somebody else tell me what to do?
Oh, sir.
When, oh, when will I ever have an original thought?
Armchair.
What's happening in sports? Find out when it happens. Get the CBS Sports app free in the Android market and iTunes App Store.
Now, you kid, I know my wife cheats on me. Every time I come home, the parrot says, quick, out the window, you know? My kids, they don't help either.
No good, huh?
Ooh, no, my kids, they're real smart kids I got, you know.
Yeah.
But the other day I told my kid, I said, someday you'll have children of your own. He said, so will you. And my daughter, too, she's no bargain either, my daughter. You kidding? Well, she's been picked up so many times, she's starting to grow handles. My daughter, they call her Federal Express, you know.
What's that?
Yeah, when she goes to a guy's apartment, she absolutely positively has to be there over.
If you can make a hit in a ball game, you can make a hit with me.
Good morning. Welcome to the Payoff Pitch here on Saturday mornings with Stephen Trosh and Sean O'Toole. Sean will not make it this morning. He is in the middle of moving his house. Or moving into his house. I don't think Sean could actually move a house, but I'm sure if you pissed him off enough about the Tigers, you might be able to get him to. Stephen, how the hell are you this morning, sir?
I'm doing great. We got another great day of baseball. We got 9 games in the morning, 2:10. But no, another great day of baseball. I mean, and I'm pretty sure, like if Sean really wanted to, he could easily move that house.
Yeah, I guess he had some kind of a scheduling conflict for people who are wondering. Long story short, his movers were supposed to get to him yesterday. Instead, they had to do it today. And so they're probably just in the middle of it right now as we speak. So that's what's going on with that. But he will be back next week. We're going to dive in to some fantasy baseball analytics, some DFS, be a little shorter show than normal. But that's okay because we're going to make sure it's action packed. Where do you want to start this week, sir?
Well, I mean, I'm going to start with just kind of going over what happened last week. So kind of like one of the bigger, not really bigger surprises, but one person that's just been really been killing it is Austin Meadows. 649 WOBA last week, 333 WRC plus.
Now, if you could, for the average baseball fan who comes in and doesn't know what you geeks are talking about, when you give an acronym, let them know what it is every week, right? Because we're going to get new reviewers and whatnot. And that was the one complaint. I meant to say something to y'all. That was the one complaint that I got on our DMs, was that, like, it's interesting, but I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And by the time I Google what the hell this is, what a statistic it is, y'all have moved on to another statistic. So if you could just run that by for us, I'll go ahead and bear it on my shoulders for us, non-stat guys.
Okay, so the WOBA, that is weighted on base percentage. That's just basically a better gauge of like actually how well like a player's getting on base, and then like the quality of like every time they get on base. The WRC plus.
So when you say the quality of getting on base, what do you mean by that? Because just on base, you got on base, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's also going to take into account the quality of contact. Is going to take into account like whether you're getting singles, doubles, little flares, or.
Let me ask this: is it taking into account whether or not you got on base because it was a fielder's choice, or is that a totally different analytic?
Yeah, I don't think it goes that deep.
Okay.
So yeah, but I mean, like it takes into account it basically weights singles, doubles, triples, home runs differently, and so like basically like however many you get of those, you're gonna get a different WOBA.
Gotcha.
And then the WRC plus, that's just basically what's called weighted runs created. So it's basically just it's not necessarily weighting, like how good your power is or how good your speed is. It's just like basically saying, how good can the player create runs? Like, I mean, like basically as simple as that. Just like how many runs are they responsible for compared to the average?
Okay. So what guys have your eye this week?
So one guy that's really been surprising me is Pavement Smith out of Arizona. So this week, really starting to put things together. He got a 476 average, 577 on base percentage. He only struck out 7% of the time, but also walked 20% of the time. Slugging, he had an 810, still a little bit of but also had a 330 isolated power. So what that is, it's basically your slugging percentage minus your average. So it's basically just trying to figure out which guys are basically which guys have the power is more responsible for their batting average.
Okay.
But he's been doing that. But I mean, just on the year, he's really been solid. We pull up the numbers here. Yeah, 288, 330, 288 average, 336 on base percentage. I think he's got like 6 or 7 home runs. I mean, and he's going to be in that lineup in Arizona where they're really not doing much this year. And it just seems like he's definitely going to get some run. He's like there's really not going to be anybody that's going to pull him. So he's got 5 RBIs, for like 5 home runs, 21 RBIs. He's got some stolen base potential. He's got one this year, but I mean, the fact that you're doing it at all gives some credence. But just on the year as a whole, 15% strikeout percentage. Could walk a little bit more. That's only a 6%. But I mean, the 20% we're seeing this week may be a sign in the right direction. All of his expected stats play out as well. I mean, he's got 288 average, 301 expected average, 502 expected slugging, a 344 expected WOBA, or the 370 expected WOBA, and he's at a 344 WOBA. Hitting the ball. Yeah, he's at a 49% hard hit percentage, and he's he's available in, what is that? 44% of leagues. I mean, he's a guy like I've been saying before, not a guy who's going to be top 10. He's not going to be, competing for a batting crown, but he kind of gives you he's a 4 to 5 category contributor, and a guy you can probably get cheap everywhere, and he may be sticking around in Arizona for a long time.
Now, when you're looking at the upcoming week and you're talking about expected WOBA and expected this and expected that, what the full analytics of, I think a lot of people are wanting to know is this taking into consideration that the guy's hot, that who the pitchers he's going to face, the stadiums he's going to be in? What is the actual full calculation for this?
For the so the expected, that's actually based on Baseball Savant. That's a Major League Baseball website. That's where they house all their StatCast data, and that's the exit velocity, the barrel percentage for pitchers, kind of like the spin rate, the velocity. So, but with all of that data they have, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what goes into the calculations. So, but they have, like every player has their surface stats, what they did, but then they take into account all the batted ball profile, the pitchers they faced, the pitchers they faced that day, the pitches they actually saw. And it just basically gives a calculation for most of the ratio stats, like the batting average, slugging percentage, on base percentage, WOBA, and all that. And it kind of gives you an expected as to based on what they have been doing, like the underlying stats, these are where they should be, or this is where they should be.
Okay.
So I mean, a good example of that is on that Baseball Savant website, they have a section. So it's called expected home runs by park. So it breaks down for every player, and it goes through every single stadium. If they had hit all of their hits in that stadium, how many home runs they actually would have had.
Now I've got a stat for you. Are you aware of what catcher in Major League Baseball has the hardest hit rate in all of Major League Baseball? It's one you wouldn't suspect because he's not having a good year, but he's got the highest hard hit rate in all Major League Baseball.
Just because you said that, I'm going to say James McCann.
No, it's actually Contreras of the Braves.
William Contreras. Okay.
Yeah. So William, not Wilson. He's got a 53.5 hard hit rate. I came across that stat a couple of nights ago and jotted it down. Now he's only hitting 220.
Yeah.
And so what I would tell people, if they were in a long league, like the one that you and Sean always talk about, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy that if he's out there, I would get, because eventually the tide's going to turn. But right now he's going through the freshman, the bumps and bruises. He's also got a lot on in his head because he's doing a terrible job behind the dish. He's having a lot of passed balls, all that kind of stuff. So I think that's going to play into it. But anyways, the point is, if you can buy him early on in a league where you're going to keep him year after year after year after year, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised by 2022 and definitely by 2023, because I watch him every night, and I never thought about the statistical part of it. But it's true, because every time I watch him, he's hitting a roaster. But it seems like it's always right into the left fielder's glove, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, when he finally starts putting it together, that kid's going to be special. That's the reason why he's up there. He's not up there because they think he's a great catcher. He's a terrible catcher. I mean, it's ridiculous to pass balls, Steven. If you watch them on a nightly basis, you'd be like, you would sit there and actually argue with yourself of, as good as that bat is it worth costing us on a nightly basis at least a run a game? It at least costs us one run a game. And so you have to kind of play the good with the bad, because their backup catcher has been a nightmare because of injury to Darno, who would actually be the starter, and then everything that they've put up there to try to back up Contreras, since he can't, is just they're just awful offensively. But like Kevin Smith that came over from the Rays, that dude cannot hit his way out of a wet paper sack. But he's solid behind the plate, so they're like, yeah, okay. After about every time Contreras has a bad defensive game, I'm talking about he always has a bad defensive game, but I'm talking about a terribly bad one. You'll see Kevin Smith in the lineup the very next day, because they're like, okay, well, we can't have 7 errors behind the plate again today. I mean, this is ridiculous. But anyways, my point is that we don't have to turn this into the Williams Contreras show. But the point is, the kid by 2022, 2023, I think is going to be an elite hitting catcher. And if you watch him, there's a lot of excitement. But I do think the moment Darno comes back this year, he's either going to go back down to the farm or he's going to be riding the pine, because his glove is just terrible.
Oh, no, it's not even that. I mean, Darno, like when he was healthy, I mean, for all the injury struggles that dude has had throughout his career in the last, year and a half, 2 years, he has really put it all together. I mean, I'm just happy for the guy. I mean, it sucks for the injury this year, but
yeah, and it is a free agent year. I mean, he signed a 2-year deal with the Braves, a club friendly deal. He's trying to build up his portfolio because he knows he will not be in Atlanta next year unless he's just willing to play backup to Contreras for the rest of his career, which obviously is not going to be the case.
Yeah, no, I mean,
if Atlanta's got 3 other catchers down in their minor league system that they're very high on, they're just not as well rounded hitting as Contreras is right now.
No.
Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on. Next player, just wanted to briefly mention, hasn't really like this guy really hasn't really torn it up in the past couple weeks or so, but it's someone I've really been keeping a close eye on is Alex Kirilloff. He is still available in about 40% of leagues on Yahoo. So like when he first came up this year, came off to a torrid start, had the wrist injury, batting .237 on the year, 272 on base percentage. So he's really not walking that much. But still, I mean, like in 100 plate appearances, he's got 4 home runs, he's got 18 RBIs. And I mean, the expected stats back it up. I mean, he's got the 293 expected batting average, a 596 expected slugging percentage. He currently has a 298 WOBA, a 383 expected WOBA. He has average exit velocity is 93 miles an hour, which is actually one of the better in the league. Hitting the sweet spot about 44% of the time. Barreling, like a hard hit percentage, 51%, barreling it 16% of the time. But one of the main things we just got to look out for him. Currently, he has, I touched on it before, the low walk rate. It's at 4.9%, 28% strikeout percentage. And that's really going to get you in trouble in the major leagues. But that's also something we didn't see in the minor leagues. He was a very well-rounded hitter. I mean, he was always going to hit for high average. He didn't strike out a lot. Never was going to hit for, your 50 home run power, but I mean, still I'd say a 25, 30 home run guy. And I mean, just, he has the strikeout issues now, but the batted ball profile, another thing Baseball Savant has is they take, your hard hit percentage, or you pulling it, hitting it straight, line drive, fly ball, all that. And it compares it around the league. And these are Kirilloff's comparisons for this year. Salvador Perez, Adolis Garcia, Teoscar Hernandez, Dave's favorite, Brandon Crawford, and Rafael Devers. I mean, save for Crawford, who, has been killing it this year, but that is very, very good company to be in. And, he's still, like I said, available in 40% of leagues. He's killing it everywhere. As soon as some of those balls start falling in, I think we're going to see a real explosion with Kirilloff, not only this year, but for the future. I mean, he's one of the key guys I'm looking to get for any kind of dynasty team, keeper team. He's a guy I'm looking to build a team around. I
can tell you something else. How many more guys you got left? Because I got a bargain bin, guys that I want to jump on before we do DFS.
Just one pitcher. Go ahead.
Go ahead and do your pitcher then.
Oh no, pitcher. Yeah, one guy like kind of went really under the radar coming into the season. Robbie Ray. First of all, that dude has been around so long.
That's the first time I've had him in fantasy. I've always punted him because he's gone too high. This year he went extremely low, and I grabbed him. And thank God, because he's been phenomenal.
Oh, I know. I mean, it was kind of funny. Like right before the show, I went in to grab his the roster numbered, and right. I saw he was on your team, and I was just like, wow, I've never seen that before.
He's never been on my team because the guy's infamous for having a high strikeout rate, but then he'll walk the bases loaded. And so he'll kill you in any kind of statistical whip and whatnot. And then also just in the regular points leagues, every third outing, you're going to get negative points because he craps the bed and gets pulled in the second inning. But you put up with it because the other 3 to 4 outings, he's going to just dominate.
Oh, I know. And I mean, just 29 years old. Like that dude has been in the league so long. And I thought when he came up, he was like one of those post-type sleepers, like 26, 27 years old, rookie debut. But no, I mean, he's still extremely young. Like his fastball velocity is the highest it's been since 2016 at 95 miles an hour.
The only league I don't have him in that we're in is the rotisserie league, and I'd still be terrified to put him in there because right now his whip is sitting at 1.14. His ERA is 3.57. I just don't trust that. Now he does have 69 Ks over 58 innings, and if you have a strong enough pitching staff that can absorb when he goes out and has a bad outing, then okay, it's good luck to you. But playing in that division, it just scares the crap out of me. I don't mind him in the points league, but in the rotisserie leagues, I'm in 2. The one that we're in, I don't have him, and the other one that I'm in, I don't have him either. I'm terrified of waking up one morning and go, he's got a 3.7 whip of, you're off of one outing. Like, what the hell did he just do to me? You see yourself just fall in the standings.
All right, we'll jump into DFS in a second, but the last thing I wanted to say on Ray, the strikeouts have been there. He has cut the walks down, but he's always been like a Dallas Keuchel who can strike people out to me. And I think one of the biggest telling factors, 2016 was like, I would say is like, breakout year, 45% ground ball rate, 32% fly ball. And then, so like this is, going in the years with the ground ball percentage, 45, 40, 39, 37. And then last year was a low 24% with a 51% fly ball percentage. He just really struggled keeping the ball low in the zone. He just, everything was elevating. But this year, 44% ground ball percentage, 38.6% fly ball percentage. The home runs are still an issue, but hard hit percentage is at 33%. That's the lowest of his career. I mean, I think Robbie Ray has finally turned a corner. It's hard to say, but if he is available in any league, go pick him up. I mean, you may not. This may be the last chance.
All right, let's go ahead and get into some little bargain bin. I'm going to find a better sound for that. I can't figure out a good sound for the bargain bin, but I'll have it figured out by next week. The bargain bin. This is where you try to find guys that are on the cheap and grab them, or guys that you want to get rid of because they're doing really well and you don't think they're going to stay there. Okay. The first one that I'm going to throw out at you, and this is a weird name to put in a bargain bin, but he's only hitting 226 right now. He does have 13 home runs, but there's a very interesting article in the Athletic about Freddie Freeman this morning and referring to a similar season that Chipper Jones had. I think it said 2004, where he just was uncharacteristic. Chipper's a lifetime 303 batting average, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2004, he only hit like 240, but still finished with 30 home runs, right? And I guess Chipper and he have had a long conversation about the fact that, man, that year I couldn't do anything right. I was blistering the ball, and it was still going right into people's mitts. And I guess Chipper later on down the road went back and looked at it and said in normal years, like he picked out all the hits that he thinks that usually would fall. And he said, I think it cost me close to 50 points on my batting average. All right. So Freddie Freeman, I'm watching the guy every night. He's still pounding the ball. He is hitting rockets into the gloves of like second baseman. I mean, just shots that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe someone's standing there. He's hitting balls that are just getting scorched into the left fielder's mitt. And he's using all parts of the field. It's unbelievable the luck he's had. Now, he hit a home run last night, so if you're going to jump on him, you might want to jump on him early or quickly. But I would be looking to try to get him because everyone's got a league dumbass. See if there's someone in your league that owns Freddie Freeman that you're not going to be able to get him for nothing. You're going to have to trade something. But I think when we hit the second after the All-Star break, you're going to see more like the Freddie Freeman of 2020 that won the MVP and less like the guy who's hitting 226 right now. But still has 13 home runs and 30 RBI, and a lot of that's got to do with the fact that no one's ever on base because Ronald Acuna Jr. just ripped it off the facade. The other guys, I want to get your take on this. One of the guys that they're saying to sell high is Jared Walsh, first base outfield for the Los Angeles Angels. What they're essentially saying is he stayed steady with a 403 WOBA in April, a 394 WOBA in May, but dropped to 352 in April to a 300 ex-WOBA in May, while his 495 WOBA on contact for the year is backed up by a very average 395 WOBA. taking all that into account, I feel like I said Wobo more than I'll ever say in my life, but taking all that into account, would you sell high if someone's willing to take Jared Walsh and give you something that's a little more proven?
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, like if anybody's going to offer me some decent value for him, of course. I mean, based on that information, yeah. I mean, I'm still like that. I am a little weary, but I mean,
I know you have him in a league, but I've got him in at least one league. I feel like I've been dating him all year long because he's on my team, off my team, on my team, off my team.
Yeah,
but I find it interesting that the numbers do support what I've had in my head, which is I don't really think that this is going to be sustainable for him. And the longer Mike Trout's out of the lineup has got to be killing his all the numbers I just stated.
Yeah, but just I like actually just one note about your Freddie Freeman take. Last in 2018 through 2020, batting average and on balls in play 358, 318, 366. 2021, 222. That says it all right there.
Yeah, like I said, I watch him every night. He's hitting he's hitting the stew out of the ball. And sometimes I get mad because I'm like, are you just hitting in the teeth of the defense? But then there's other times where the guy's like making a freaking incredible play at the wall, and it just happens to be Freddie who hit it, right? And,
yeah.
And sometimes you go, dude, this just ain't your year, bud. I'm like, this is just, I don't think he would, I'm not saying he should be in the MVP conversation if some of those numbers flipped around, but he shouldn't be hitting 226. Like when I see Freddie on a nightly basis, if I didn't know and I just watched him, I never saw his statistics, I think in my head in 2021, he'd be hitting around 280-ish. Okay. Not what he was doing last year where he was just ripping the cover off the ball. How the hell he did that after almost being on his deathbed from COVID, I'll never know. But it's interesting. Another guy, starting pitcher, Kevin Gausman. Now, what they're saying here is that he's had a way better expected than what the reality is. First of all, they said he's never pitched 185 innings in a season. Okay, whatever. That you can't predict an injury. Has a career 4.07 ERA and a WHIP of 1.27. And everyone's saying sell because his current 1.4 ERA and WHIP of a 0.81. Now, I would agree with this because I also saw the Gausman that dominated in Atlanta started well the second year, and then he couldn't find the plate in the middle of the summer for whatever reason, and the Braves DFA'd him. Now we're a year and a half later, and he's back to looking like Cy Young.
I mean, my take's not even like an analytics one. This is just a pure baseball take. I mean, his splitter this year has been absolutely filthy. I mean, it's been untouchable.
When he's got it, man. And see, that's the thing. When he's got it, because I watched it in Atlanta. I don't think it was for quite this long period of time. But when that splitter's going, I mean, you can't hit him. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's almost like a watch. You know, he reminds me of his Roy Halladay.
Yeah,
you're just like, my guy's a magician. But then all of a sudden, if he loses it again, and maybe he's figured all that out. If he loses it again, you're going to be kicking yourself for not selling high.
Oh no! I mean, I am selling high. I mean, like I already did sell high earlier in the year on him, but no, he's just like he has that splitter. He doesn't have much else. He is a splitter.
What did you get in a trade for him?
I traded him and Bieber for DeGrom and someone else.
Oof. I hope that someone else is good because you might have gotten raped right there. I mean, DeGrom, forget about it. But Bieber and him are about like this. Gausman.
Those are both.
I get it. I'm assuming it's a keeper league.
Yeah, dynasty.
Yeah. So I get it. The fact that you can add Jacob deGrom to your arsenal for here on out is a big get. Especially since as of right now, there's no DH in the National League. So Bieber has to deal with the DH, right?
Yeah.
A couple of guys that will grab them on the bargain bin that are having the low, and then we'll jump into DFS real quick. One guy that everyone's starting to talk about now, once again, is Joe Adell. Now we know he's played terribly in the majors, but in the minors, once again, he has 27 hits, 70 total bases, 12 home runs, and 106 at bats between two levels. Now, once again, the problem is what seems like when he gets to the majors, and we all know that it's a hell of a lot difficult. It's a much bigger jump from AAA to the majors than it is from AA to AAA. And so we'll see. I don't know. If you have like a long dynasty league, like I picked him up in our rotisserie league, right? Because I figure I can sit him on the bench if I need be, right? Because it's a different kind of league. You can't do that in like any of our other points money leagues. So you can't have that guy sitting there even after he comes up. You can't have him out there get you 10 points a week. You're like, he's gonna be good one day. It's like, well, okay, if you say so. Another guy, this one's interesting because I finally dropped him. I'm just tired of him. I can't deal with it. He leaves Washington, goes to LA, and all of a sudden he forgets how to hit. Anthony Rindone, who has 3 home runs and a 231 batting average, but everybody knows what he did in 2019 and in prior years. You figure he's going to snap out of it, but I couldn't deal with it anymore. I dropped him. I was like, I'm done with you. This is in the rotisserie league where he was absolutely killing me. Like, if you look at my names and my batters in the rotisserie league, I should be dominating this league. And that dude is number one with a bullet where you're like, what the hell happened to him? What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I will say he is definitely it looks like he's picking up a little bit in the past couple weeks, but yeah, he has just been abysmal this year. 111 ISO, 222 average. I mean, the biggest thing for me is his walk. 2019, 2020, he was walking 12%, 16% of the time. And that is back in single digits again for the first time, really consistently since he came to the majors in 2014 and 2013.
There's another one they have here. I'm not buying this, saying sell Blake Snell high. I'm not buying it. I think Blake Snell is going to continue to dominate. Blake Snell was waiting to go to the National League where he didn't have to face the American League East every damn week, right? And Blake Snell is on a hell of a team. It's going to get you wins too. So I'm not buying the get rid of Blake Snell. Hell, what was it last night? He had 7 innings, 10 Ks, 1 hit allowed. What say you? Would you sell him high? Because I'm like, hell no, man. Hell no.
I mean, it just depends on your definition of sell high. I mean, if I'm getting a top 5 pitcher, yeah, but.
Well, no, yeah, someone's going to give you DeGrom, but no one's going to give you DeGrom. What they're trying to sell you is sell him high for a low-key arm. This is a quote, like Zach Greinke. Screw that. I'm not going to give you Blake Snell for Zach Greinke. Zach Greinke's solid.
Not even close. I mean,
he's not lights out. It says roll the dice. Okay, well, that's all fun and games. If it's not your dice, you're rolling.
Yeah.
And then the last one, Dylan Bundy. Now, this one's interesting to me. He's having a good year, but I'm not a buyer in him. But it's mainly because his career, in my mind, is stained by what he did in Baltimore. Okay. You would constantly run into with Bundy. He would have a few good outings and then a turd. A few good outings and then a turd. So I think I'm too prejudiced in this to be able to give you an honest answer on Dylan Bundy. What say you?
Yeah, no, I want no part of Dylan Bundy. I mean, the biggest attraction to him the past year or two was his were the strikeouts, and they've really gone down. I mean, he's I think those have gone down. The walks have gone up. He's given up home runs. What is that? The last 4 starts, 4 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 7 and 6, and that's to 7 home runs in the last 4 starts, while not striking many people out.
And to your point earlier, this is kind of a goofy quote that I'm getting out of this article. I'd be willing to send Robbie Ray for Dylan Bundy. Well, of course you would. Why the hell wouldn't you? But no one's going to give you Dylan Bundy. Nobody's going to give you Robbie Ray if you send him Dylan Bundy.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done that preseason.
No, because his strikeout rate's too high.
Yeah, I don't get that at all. Get Dylan Bundy off your team if you can.
Yeah,
I'm just not a fan.
Because also, what's going to happen, Stephen, late August, when the Angels are completely out of it like they always are, is Dylan Bundy still going to have the interest? Are they going to start skipping starts for him? Well, you just now, if I find out Dylan Bundy's going to a contender and a pitcher's park at that, I might revisit it. But as of right now, I'd sell him. All right, let's dive into DFS because we're going to start running out of time here. We're actually going much longer than I thought we would. And get a couple of cups of coffee in us and throw baseball in front of us. We can be here all day. Okay, so I'm assuming that you're wanting to focus on the 2 p.m. slate.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I did create the. I forgot to do that pre-show, but I did create the thing again, the competition. I did not see what happened. I'll pull it up in a second. Last week, did you look at it?
I don't remember exactly. I know I texted Sean because I was mad my White Sox stack didn't have Jake Lamb, but other than that, I don't remember what happened.
Okay, I'll find it. I gotta find. Here we go. Well, I crapped the bed again. Oh, you won though.
Okay.
God, we all had bad weeks. Oh, we won't even go over that. I'm thinking that was.
I think I had the pitching, but the hitting wasn't there.
Oh, wait a minute. I know what. Okay. I never went back and revisited the starting lineup. And oh yeah, I see now. I had 5 guys not even play. All right. Ooh. So that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of damn sense why it went down that way. All right. Because we did the late slate. I filled mine out in the morning. I said I was going to get back to it. And then I had some other obligations. I meant to set an alarm for me. I did not. And so here we sit. But that's okay. Where are you going in DFS today?
Well, I'm starting off with pitching, and it is going to be very chalky today. Top 5 pitchers salary-wise, we got Woodruff at around 10,000 at home against Arizona, Giolito at home against Detroit, Urquidy at Toronto. That's no, ruling him out immediately. John Means home against Baltimore, and Trevor Rogers at Pittsburgh. If I got of those 5, I'm going to be sticking with the top 2, Woodruff and Giolito. Urquidy no, they're facing Toronto in Buffalo. Toronto's the hottest offense in the majors right now. I want no part of that.
I don't know why his value's so high. I get it. He's a good pitcher, but I'm with you. They're in Buffalo, but that is it's a bandbox. I would no thank you whatsoever. I'm not stacking Blue Jays because he's a good pitcher, but I'm not starting him. I'm with you on that. Is there a bargain guy that you like? Because I've got one in mind.
Yeah, the one that stuck out to me immediately is Kobe Allard at 5,000. Tampa Bay has also been extremely hot this year, but they do strike out a lot against left-handed pitching. And $5,000, it really depends how long they're willing to work him. Like if he can get 4 to 5 innings, $5,000, it really doesn't. Unless he does, as long as he doesn't get obliterated, he's returning value at 5,000.
I'm surprised you and Sean aren't diehard, tattooed, head to toe, dressed with Tampa Bay Rays gear, because I feel like you would be in nerd heaven watching the Rays every night beat the odds. They win baseball by having guys you're like, who? What? This guy?
Yeah.
And they find a way, and they strictly do it through analytics.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I've been a longtime supporter of what they've been doing. Last year, right after the Super Bowl in 2020, I bet them to win the World Series. I came a couple games short, but no, but
it's phenomenal because they lose Snell, who we were just talking about. They lose Charlie Morton, who's solid, but I get it. He's not a superstar anymore by any stretch of the imagination, but still, those are 2 big names and you're starting pitching, and somehow you're leading the AL East. It's unbelievable what they do. The one name that I say, if you want to roll the dice, because he does pitch well against Philly, but it is a roll of the dice, is Joe Ross at 7,800. He normally pitches well against Philly. it's an interesting one. The only caveat that I'd say is check the weather. If that wind's blowing out in Philly, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, because he does give up the fly ball. So a lot of it would be with the weather. I'll tell you what, Rich Hill at 8,300s would be interesting too.
He was one I have my name on. I mean, they're playing in Texas today, and that is a very, very hitter unfriendly stadium. To your point, though, wind is like it's 10 miles an hour to right field. So a little bit lucky. I mean, we're disagreeing on that one because I was I'm looking to stack the Phillies today.
No, I wouldn't do it. 10 miles an hour, right field out. He's a right-handed pitcher. Any left-handed bat's gonna. Nope, I wouldn't do it.
Odubel Herrera is one of my top plays today for hitting. I mean, he's been like on another one this past week.
Last weekend, if same situation, I'd be all over it because they were getting such bad weather in the East. But yeah, this weekend, scratch what I said. There's no way in hell I'm putting Joe Ross out there.
All right, and then just touch base on hitting. Like I said, I mean, the Phillies, I'm loving them today. White Sox, they're facing a lefty. Tariq Skubal has looked pretty decent this year, but White Sox are one of the best hitting teams against left-handed pitching. Tim Anderson, Yermin Mercedes, Jose Abreu. Andrew Vaughn, if he's in the lineup today, has been a monster versus left-handed pitching. He's been in the top 20, top 20 in like almost all the main stats this year. The Toronto Houston game. Your Quiddy is a good pitcher, but I like that. The Toronto offense is so hot. I don't care if DeGrom's up there. Like, they're still in play for me. It's just they're that good right now.
I would be trying to stack some Houston players.
Houston too.
Because I get it that Ross Stripling's had some pretty decent outings here recently, but that guy cannot be relied on. And in that park, assuming that it's good weather, that should be a really high score. Take the over in that game, whatever the over is, because it's going to be lower than it should be because your Quiddy's pitching. Take the over in that game.
I mean, just a piece of betting advice for the rest of the season. If Toronto's playing in Buffalo and there's another decent offense, just hit the over. Don't even think about it. I mean, it's not going to work every night, but I'd be willing to bet money that that's going to be profitable over like just betting every single over on a home game in Buffalo.
All right, let's go ahead and we're going to play a quick game of Pepper today since we don't have both y'all. Okay, here we go. All right, playing a little Pepper as we leave the game today. Are you a buyer or seller of Tyler O'Neill, St. Louis Cardinals?
Oh, I mean, based on last week, like I was all about him last week. I'm buying him all day. I mean, he continued tearing it up this week. I mean, he falls into a little bit of the Joey Gallo category where he strikes out a lot and doesn't walk much, but he's got the power and he's also showing he can steal some bases. Buy all day.
Next one up. Vladimir Guerrero right now has 17 home runs. I don't actually know the actual, let me double check this before I say something incredibly inaccurate. We are about, well, with Vlad, we are 55 games into the season. Okay, I thought we were actually at 60, but 55 games into the season. Vladimir Guerrero has 17 home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Over under 40 and a half.
I'll say the over on that, especially where he's playing.
All right. Max Muncie, who'd started to hit pretty well, got banged up last night. So that question may be a moot point. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and skip that one because we don't know about his health yet. Shohei Ohtani, everyone's favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
He has 15 home runs. He has 40 RBI. Will Shohei Ohtani hit 40 and 100 this year?
No. I think he will in the future, but I think he's going to
get either.
No.
What about 30 and 100? Or 30 and 80?
30-80, I'll say yes.
Okay.
The RBIs is mostly just because of the surrounding cast.
And the last one I'll throw at you from the hitter standpoint, we'll take one of the top tier guys and go from here. All right. Austin Meadows, you just talked about him earlier today. Okay. Having a phenomenal year and currently hitting 244, which is not phenomenal, but he does have 14 homers and 44 RBIs. Does Austin Meadows by season's end crack 275 batting average?
No, he's not really a hit for average player.
Okay. And then we'll just do two pitchers real quick. I had something else designed, but when Sean backed out, it kind of threw me off. So we went in this direction. Here's an interesting one. Chris Bassett's got a 3.53 ERA. He's got a 104 WHIP, 74 innings pitched, 80 Ks. Currently, Chris Bassett is ranked 64th in points leagues on Yahoo. Does he stay in the top 100 by year's end?
I think he does. I mean, he's looking legit this year, and he also pitches in a very pitcher-friendly park and gets to face a lot of Seattle and Texas hitters the rest of the way.
All right, and one more. Carlos Rodon, who's been phenomenal this year, 1.98 ERA, 0.82 WHIP. By the end of the season, is Carlos Rodon in the top 3 for the Cy Young? Can he do it the whole year?
If he can stay healthy, the talent has always been there.
So you're saying yes?
I mean, I'm just trying to think of the other AL pitchers. I mean, it's Glasnow, Bieber, Cole. I don't think he'll crack the top 3 though. I'll say that.
All right, and that was Playing Pepper. What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
Walk-off for the day. Oh, man, this has been a rough one. I'm just going to go with it. Stack all the Phillies. Joe Ross is going to get pummeled today.
All right. I'll buy into that. Once you said 10 miles an hour blowing out of right field, that smells like a Bryce Harper 2-home run day for me. My walk-off for the day is the game that you want to, the matchup that you want to watch. Screw the game, the matchup. I don't know. Find a way to alert yourself every time that Fernando Tatis goes up against Jacob deGrom tonight. 7:15 Eastern. That's the Fox game of the week, depending on where you live. But holy crap. I'm going, my father-in-law, his 75th birthday is today, so we're going to go celebrate with him, but I am recording that game because I specifically just want to go back and watch those at bats because I'm going to be just very, very energized to see what DeGrom does and knowing his pride, and then Tatis trying to figure DeGrom out, because these aren't two guys that see each other regularly. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight. Also, if you're looking for an interesting one, if you're looking for an interesting pitcher hitter matchup, Kershaw and Ronald Acuna Jr. That should be a lot of fun as well.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, we are going to go ahead and get out of here, and hopefully everybody can catch some baseball today, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good day.